I'm Judy Shaw for another segment of What's the Fund? Joining me today is Michael Lucas. He is the CEO of TrueMark Investments. Michael, thanks so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me, Judy. It's a pleasure.
Well, before we start, I have a quick note to our viewers just to let them know that this interview is for informational purposes only. The NYSE doesn't make any recommendations or provide investment advice, and we're not endorsing or recommending Michael or TrueMark either. So, Michael, tell me, what's the fund you want to talk about today?
I want to talk about the TrueMark Tech, AI, and Deep Learning Fund. The symbol is LRNZ, LRNZ.
Tell me about that fund.
So it's a fairly unique offering. It's active, it's alpha seeking, it's concentrated, and it's transparent. And we think it's a little bit differentiated from anything in its class that is available in the ETF space today.
Mm-hmm. Now, what makes up that fund?
So, we look at AI a little bit differently, I think, than some of the other offerings in the marketplace. We have a really great sub-advisor here in San Francisco. Sam Kim is the PM, and he's with Black Hills Capital. Black Hills has a very unique take on tech investing, and they believe it's a winner-take-all concept in tech investing, meaning when you have a new segment in tech, you can identify two or three of the potential segment winners, but eventually it always comes down to one winner in that segment, and it's our job to not only identify the potential winners, but then consolidate into the actual winner as it starts to emerge. And in doing so, you end up with what we consider a concentrated fund. It really holds 20 to 25 names in it across what we believe are the four components of AI investing. And those are data, hardware, software, and then sophisticated users. And so if you look at the portfolio makeup, really what you have is heavy exposure to what we call the sophisticated users. And we believe that's where the alpha is. So some of the big names, the mega caps, will be in the software and the hardware space. And the sophisticated users are where you get down to some of those names that not everybody knows and certainly are relatively unique to our portfolio versus our peers. And we believe that's where the secret sauce is, if you will.
Mm-hmm. Tell me more about the strategy.
So the strategy itself is to really dig in fundamentally on the tech space. And we look to identify potential winners in what we call hyper growth segments. And certainly AI is a nascent asset class. And where you have nascent asset classes, you have winners and losers. And those winners can go into what we call a hyper growth phase, where you'll see a series of earnings beats, some volatility, some major upticks in buying. But we look to identify companies that are going into that hyper growth phase and could be the winner in that space. And we look as early as really their second or third round of, maybe their B or C round of venture capital. I mean, we'll look that far down the pipeline to identify companies that we think use artificial intelligence and more specifically deep learning or reinforcement learning as a competitive advantage. And to us, that's really the vanguard of what the AI space is doing.
Okay, well, Michael, where can we learn more about this fund?
Our website is www.true-shares.com. And you can find all you need to know on that website. And certainly info@truemarkinvestments.com can help as well.
Wonderful. Well, Michael, thank you so much for joining me on another segment of What's the Fund?
Great. Thanks for having me, Judy.